Hey there, welcome. If you're watching this video, you're likely feeling the weight of something that's been lingering for too long, sex addiction. But here's the truth, you're not alone, it's not too late to change. Imagine for a moment a life where you no longer feel trapped by your urges that seem too out of control. A life where you regain control, rebuild your sense of self-worth, and truly experience healthy, meaningful connections. Healing from sex addiction isn't just possible, it's a transformative journey that can lead you to becoming your highest self. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share exactly how you can begin the process of healing. No gimmicks, no quick fixes, just practical, proven methods that will guide you through this challenging journey step by step. This isn't just about stopping an addiction, it's about understanding the root causes, finding healthier ways to deal with emotions, and reconnecting with the core of who you truly are. So let's dive into how you can begin healing from a sex addiction today. So number one, you want to acknowledge the problem. You need to have self-awareness. The first step to healing is acknowledgement that there's a problem. This can be incredibly difficult if you've never faced your fears or your demons, especially if you're someone who's built your identity being around a high achiever. You might tell yourself, I've got it all together in every other area of my life. Why is this so hard to control? But the truth is, addiction, whether it's to sex, substances, or anything else, thrives in secrecy. Even love addiction. It feeds off shame and isolation. So the first thing you need to do is be honest with yourself. You want to be totally honest with yourself. No judgment, no guilt, just truth. Recognize that this is something that's affecting your mental health, your relationships, and your overall well-being. But here's the good news. Admitting you have a problem is the first step to overcoming it, and that this is the biggest step, which leads me to step two. You want to understand the root causes. So, next, let's get to the heart of the issue, understanding why you're struggling with a sex addiction in the first place. Sex addiction often stems from unresolved emotional pain. So, whether it's childhood trauma, unmet emotional needs, or the need for validation. Maybe it's a way of coping with feelings of loneliness, anxiety, or even anger. So for example, when I was younger, I felt I was criticized by my parents. I was criticized, and there was a very hierarchical situation going on in my family, very demanding, very rushing, a lot of cops being called with my parents being divorced, and fights that I saw. There's a lot of deep emotional childhood trauma wounds that I never took care of, which kind of led to the addiction for me. That had a huge factor in my addiction, and I started working on that just about 2 years ago. So, maybe it's a way of coping with feelings of loneliness and anger and anxiety. To heal, you need to understand where the addiction began. You need to understand this. You need to go back into your life to when you're younger and understand the story that you've been telling yourself for years. This is a pivotal moment in the healing process. So by identifying the emotional triggers that led to the compulsive behavior, you can begin to reframe your thinking. So a great way to do this is by journaling. Very simple, everyone talks about journaling, but yes, I'm talking about writing down your thoughts, your fears, your struggles. Start by asking yourself, when do I turn to these behaviors? What's happening in my life right then, at this time right now? What emotions am I avoiding? As you write, you'll begin to see patterns. Recognizing these triggers will allow you to confront them and work through the emotions that they're masking. On to step three. This is where identifying sub-personalities come into play. And this is what I help clients with. Now, I want you to get a little more introspective. We all have sub-personalities, different aspects of ourselves that emerge at various times. Some are healthy, some are very destructive. In the case of sex addiction, there's a sub-personality that is driven by instant gratification and need for control. But the key here is you need to dialogue. Imagine each separate sub-personality is a different character of yourself, like an alter ego, like that movie Glass, or the one before that, I forget, where the guy has different personalities. Imagine that's you, but you have different alter egos. You need to give each one a name. This is where the creativity comes into play. So for me, I had Dominator, I I had Tigger. Tigger was a big one because Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, he's jumping around and he's active, and that's how I am. My mind's going crazy. And another one was, I was also Piglet. So I had two alter egos. I had Piglet and Tigger. Piglet was very, worried and always, that was me. I was very anxious and worried. This comes from deep childhood wounds. And you got to ask this character, why is this part of me seeking sexual gratification right now? What emotional need is trying to be filled? What am I not filling right now? What am I ignoring? So this is what I help clients with. This is my main part, and I would love to help you out with this. But by dialoguing, you start not just suppressing, but you start rejecting these urges. And it's really cool how it develops over time. And so number 4 is developing healthy coping mechanisms. So let's replace the addictive behavior with healthy coping mechanisms. In the beginning, it might feel impossible to stop the urges from coming up, but over time with practice, you can retrain your brain. It's pretty cool. Your brain's very plastic and it can change over time. If you allow it, you have to be very open-minded. So here are a few coping strategies. Mindfulness. When you feel the urge to act out, you want to pause, breathe, acknowledge. Pause, breathe, and acknowledge. That's what I use. Pause, breathe, acknowledge the feeling, but don't give into it. Mindfulness helps you stay in this moment right now, letting go of the old patterns. Exercise, high intensity. That's what I suggest. Engage in Bikram yoga. That's what I do. 90 minutes, 100 degrees, 40% humidity. Reduces all your stress and anxiety, 2 emotions often tied to addiction. It gives you a rush of feel-good endorphins. Coaching, therapy, accountability. Accountability is huge. Surround yourself with a support system like I give you guys that holds you accountable, whether it's a friend, a group, partner like me. Having someone that makes all the difference. And number 5, you want to cultivate self-compassion. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and you're going to have setbacks. You're gonna slip. You're gonna have setbacks. It's normal. Do not beat yourself up. That's normal. The critical piece in this is self-compassion. So many people trying to overcome addiction beat themselves up over every single mistake, but that's the opposite of what you need. Instead of punishing yourself, you treat yourself with the same love and patience you would give a close friend who is struggling. Remember yourself that you're human. You are a human being. Growth happens in stages, and healing is a process. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. Now I want to ask you, are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to step into a future where you no longer are held back by this addiction and you're ready to grow spiritually, mentally, financially, everything? But instead, you're free to pursue your higher self. If the answer is yes, I want to invite you to take action today. I want you to start by journaling, reflect on your sub-personality, take the first step toward recovery. If you're serious about going deeper, reach out for coaching. Join this support group that I have. Healing takes time, but you're capable of making a massive transformation. Do not wait. Your future self will thank you. Click subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Let me know. I'm really curious about you. I'm here for you.